All right. Well, I got a bunch of you guys in now, and we're going to get moving here. I'm going to share my screen. All right. So thank you for joining me today on understanding the recruiting calendar. I know that is a question that a lot of parents and athletes have, even coaches as well sometimes. So we're glad that you're here today to get some education on that. Before I get started, I want to make sure I introduce myself and kind of who I am, and so you know who the heck is talking to you today. Not only do I work at field level, obviously, as I'm doing these webinars, but I am a longtime high school football coach. I've been doing it for many years up in the Los Angeles area. I've been fortunate enough to have to be a part on two different programs that won championships. One as recently as last year, which is a great time. And in my time, I've gotten the opportunity to spend my years coaching ball with a lot of great young people, whether they're major Division I level athletes. Some kids have gone on to play at the professional level, all the way down to kids that never played again and just played at the high school level, which is great young men that I got to work with day in and day out. And I'm also doing a lot of stuff with USA Football. I travel around. I do speaking engagements for them. And I've also got a small private quarterback training company that I have. So I say all that, not just to let you guys know that I'm in the game with you guys. I've been coaching for a while. I've been working with athletes. I've been working with recruiting before I started working at field level. And so it's been a pleasure to be at field level and get to share the information that we have here with parents like yourself in this recruiting process. And hopefully you guys get some good stuff today. So what we're going to go over today is the understanding the basics of the recruiting calendar. There is a lot of detail, and I'll unpack that more as we get going. But there's a lot of detail in the recruiting calendar. So we'll talk about that today. And I have some links that I want to share with you guys that will be a helpful tool for you that you can do some research on your own, kind of figure out some things when it comes to your specific sport, the different levels you're looking to play at. I'll also give you some field level action steps, things you should be focusing on with your field level account, especially most of you are going to be parents on here today. So what you guys should be focusing on with your athletes in their account. And then I'll open it up to questions and answers at the end. So if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them or read them and answer them if I can, but please wait till the end of the presentation. Also, I'm going to use that chat box that I started out everything with, that little chat box area where you guys are writing where you guys are from and where I welcome you guys as well. So please use that. There's a question and answer area. And then there's this chat box area. I want to use the chat box area. It helps me keep the presentation screen on while being able to read your questions. So again, leave those for later, and we'll dig into that more later. Right. So let's get started. So by definition, what is recruiting? So recruiting, as a definition of the NCAA, is the NCAA defines recruiting as any solicitation of prospective student athletes or their parents, so you guys listening today, by an institutional staff member, okay, this is where it gets important here, institutional staff member, or by a representative of the institution's athletic interests, so like a booster or alumni that's heavily involved, for the purpose of securing a prospective student athlete's enrollment and ultimate participation in the institution's intercollegiate athletic program. Okay, so it's not just a coach, it can be a booster, it can be an alumni, it can be someone that represents their athletic interests as what the NCAA considers recruiting. The recruiting calendar. There are a bunch of different times in the year that the recruiting calendar has, and there are different definitions. We're going to go through that. So there's contact period, there's the evaluation period, there's quiet period, and dead period. Kind of confusing, but we're going to discuss that, the definition of each one as we go forward here. So first up is contact period. First, what does contact mean? I think that's a pretty important thing because contact can mean different things. So what the NCAA considers contact is if contact occurs anytime a college coach says more than hello during a face-to-face contact with a college-bound student athlete or his or her parents off the college's campus. Okay, again, off the college's campus is key in that definition. So during contact period, college coaches may have a face-to-face contact with college-bound student athletes or their parents. They can also watch a student athlete compete live and visit their high school or club organization and write telephone student athletes or their parents. So basically, this is the time where they can have as much communication as they want with the student athlete. They can go to their high school and talk to them. They can go to their games and watch them. They can go to the club facilities and meet the coaches, meet the athletes, shake their hand, talk to them, converse with them. They can do the same thing with their coaches as well. With the athletes' parents as well. They can have unlimited contact on the phone, email, text, whatever the case may be. They can do that as well during this contact period. Next is the evaluation period. During the evaluation period, a college coach they can watch them play, okay? They can go to their high school, talk to their coaches, and they can write or telephone the student athlete or their parents. However, this is where the big however, a college coach may not have face-to-face contact with a college-bound student athlete or their parents off the college campus during the evaluation period. So this is the time where you may be seeing a lot of athletes and their parents going to different schools and doing their own unofficial visits at different college campuses, because that means that college coach has the opportunity to speak with the college athlete, the college-bound athlete, and their parents. But they cannot go to their high school or their club facility and talk to them. As you guys heard earlier, I'm a football coach. I've been doing that for a long time. I have literally had a college coach on our sideline during the evaluation period at a Friday night football game, watch a student athlete, is unable to talk to that student athlete because it's the evaluation period, and whispered into our ears after they saw enough that they're leaving, but that they'll be contacting us on that Monday to give that athlete the scholarship offer. They weren't able to do that in person because they were unallowed to because of the evaluation time, but they were allowed to watch the athlete, and they were allowed to be in communication with the coaches, which they were, and then they're able to be in telephone or email or writing contact with the athlete. So then that coach in that situation, in this story, told us, hey, thank you for having me on your sideline. I love this athlete. I'm going to call on Monday, because that's what I'm allowed to do, to offer this athlete a scholarship. So this is the evaluation time. Again, that coach was not able to wait till after the game to verbally and in front of the athlete give that offer. They had to wait to do it over the phone the following week. So that is evaluation period. Next up is our quiet period. During a quiet period, a college coach may have face-to-face contact with college-bound student athletes or their parents on the college's campus. A coach may not watch student athletes compete unless a competition occurs on the college's campuses, which is why colleges are starting to have more and more camps or clinics or different showcases on their campus that gives them the opportunity to watch that athlete in person. But they cannot go watch them compete in a tournament, in a showcase, in a game, whatever the case may be, whatever sport you guys are playing. Coaches may write or telephone college-bound student athletes or their parents during this time. So basically, again, the coach can talk to that athlete if they are on their campus. That the college coach, to be clear, the college coach may have that interaction, that face-to-face contact with an athlete or their parent if they are on the college campus. They cannot have that contact with the athlete if they are on the high school campus or if they are on the high school athletes club facility. Coach may not watch student athletes compete, so they can't go to their games, can't go to their tournaments, can't go to their showcases, but they can do all of this contact if it's on the college campus, okay? Next is dead period. During a dead period, a college coach may not have face-to-face contact with the college-bound student athlete or their parents, may not watch student athletes compete or visit their high schools. Coaches may write and telephone student athletes or their parents during this dead period. So, can't talk to them, can't talk to them on campus, on their campus, can't talk to them on the athlete's campus, can't talk to them on the athlete's at the athlete's club facility, but they can write or telephone a student athlete during this time. So again, this is really meant for the good of the athlete as well, giving that athlete time during their scholastic or their athletic year to focus on those things and not be bombarded with all the recruiting stuff, and also gives the college-bound or the college coaches opportunities as well within their season to be focusing on their in-season stuff as well. All right, so there are some differences between Division One and Division Two. Obviously, there's a lot of competitive differences when it comes to those two levels. But I have a link here, and of course, you guys can click on the link. But I'm going to start showing you guys a lot of links that just to show you that I have the links. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to forward those links onto you guys in our follow-up email. So all of you will be getting a follow-up email from me, and all the links will be in there. So as field level, we serve baseball, softball, football, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's volleyball, men's and women's soccer, and men's and women's lacrosse. So there are different recruiting calendar changes. A contact period for a Division I football team may be different between a Division II football program or a FCS level program. So a dead period could be at different times of the year for those different programs. We want to make sure you're able to go ahead and look at all of those differences on your own when you have the opportunity, and I'm going to provide you those links so you guys can go find those. But again, we have so many users, so many different sports, athletes playing or aiming at different levels of collegiate play, that it's beneficial for you guys to be able to go look through that on your own, or else you'd have to listen to me for stinking 3 hours going through every little detail of the Division I and Division II with these different sports. By the way, I have a little graphic here. It's on my right-hand side with a little map and all the little location dots. And I'm going to have the same thing here with the D3, NAIA, and JUCO. That graphic is for me to kind of point out to all you guys that there are literally thousands of opportunities to play college athletics. There are so many athletic programs around this country at the Division I level, Division II level, 3, NAIA, and junior college for young people to go and pursue playing college athletics. So keep your mind open. This isn't the webinar to discuss that, but definitely keep your mind open for the many opportunities all over the nation for this. Some differences with the Division III, NAIA, junior college. There are different rules when it comes to the different opportunities for these athletes to be spoken to or have communication with a college-bound athlete. I'm seeing someone that is writing in. Bob, go ahead and save all these questions for the end for me. Again, I'll let you guys know when it's question and answer time, and I'll get right to all the questions then. But you did ask the question in the right area. So for the most part, some like not hard and fast rules, but for the most part, these Division III NAIA rule is going to be that after their sophomore year, Division III schools can just go have at it. They don't have as much resources, both in human beings within their programs, or the funds that they have to get around the country. So they're able to start recruiting right away after that athlete's sophomore year. For the most part, the NAIA has the ability to start recruiting right away once that athlete is in high school. And so you can get those detailed information based on sport and division at these links as well that, again, I'll be sending out to you. And then junior college has many of the same rules there but they have some restrictions on contact and how a college coach is able to be in contact with you versus you in contact with them. You can find that information. And I have two links here. The NJCAA, which is a national, they are spread out for the most part throughout the country and have a lot of organizations, a lot of conferences, and then many junior colleges under their wing. And then I also have the Northwest Athletic Conference, which is a grouping of high-level junior college programs in the Pacific Northwest that we are officially partnered with now at field level. They're a great group up there. And so if you're interested in playing at that level, I've also got their compliance link here that I'll be sending along to you as well. Another cool thing that we've done at field level is our design team has taken the time to put together recruiting calendars that you can download, you can have in your on your fridge, you can have on your computer, you can give to your kids, whatever you'd like to do with it. We've got that done, and I'll be sending that link to you guys as well. So your follow-up email from me is going to be the most link-intensive email that typically comes from us, but we're excited to get you guys this education to help you guys in your recruiting journey. So now that you guys have learned about the broad strokes of the recruiting calendar, what it's there for, the different times of year, and it's all going to change for every sport based on seasonality, what are you guys supposed to do on field level to stay updated, to stay on track? You guys as parents, and again, I know most of you are parents on here today, you guys are so important. And we're going to have some more webinars in September, so stay tuned about just how important you parents are to this process and what you guys can be doing to keep everything organized and flowing through this recruiting process, how to support your coach, support your athletes in this, but some basic things you can do with that are very core to the website. Keep your academics up to date, okay? All of your athletes have an academics. If you guys are freshman parents in here right now, wait till maybe the end of the freshman year to plug this information in. But you can go ahead and hit edit. You can go to the academic page. You're able to go ahead and add in your GPA, your SAT, your ACT scores. We also just added a new feature in there. I don't have it in this webinar today. We also added a new feature where you're able to plug in your NCAA or your NAIA eligibility code. So you can plug that in there as well if you have that. Next is add videos and links. We'll have another webinar in September talking about more detailed information about video, about film, but just know now it is a college coach cannot and will not evaluate an athlete, will not recruit an athlete, will not get in contact with an athlete if they cannot watch that athlete play. So very important to plug film into your profile page here. So make sure that that you guys take the link from whatever website you guys use to house your film, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Huddle, whether it's Crossover. Take that link, copy the link, paste it in that box there. As you can see here, a box opens up, a video box there, so coaches can watch that film straight from the profile. Next is add your college preferences in your account. So whether it's you want to go to a small school, what level you're interested in playing at, things of that nature. We've got a bunch of questions in there. Fill that out. We'll be able to give you better recommendations, better information about schools that you should be targeting. Again, kind of goes back to what I was saying before. So many colleges out there. I mean, there are so many programs in this country that you've never even heard of before that could be a good fit for your student athlete. So the more information we have on you, the better recommendations we can provide to you in that college search. And then, we want to make sure that you're building out your target school list. Keep that updated. We recommend that athletes have at least 20 on that target school list. Athletes are able to move the rankings around. One school could be ranked number 1, and then a week later they can be ranked number 5. Pardon me. You're also able to keep everyone organized. Everyone's able to see what you're interested in going, where the athlete's interested in going and playing at. Coaches can see this page. Athletes see this page. Parents can see this page. Very helpful organizational information there. Also, when athletes add a school, a college, to their target school list, that school is then notified that that athlete is targeting their school. They don't know what rank they are. They could be number 1. They could be number 21. All that matters is that coach now knows that they're being targeted by the athlete. And then lastly, make sure you guys are staying in great communication with your coach. That is so important. If our network, our website, our platform, whatever you want to call it, does anything, it connects people. It connects high school and club coaches to college coaches. It helps the athlete and the high school and club coach communicate about the recruiting process. It brings the parents involved so they're communicating with their athletes, and then as a family unit communicating with the coach about the recruiting process. We want to bring people together in this recruiting process, and communicating with your coach about this is going to be very impactful and very helpful for all parties in the recruiting process. So real quick, I want to touch on some of our free and premium stuff here. I'm assuming a lot of you guys, or most of you, are probably members or users of Field Level. And as you guys have seen so far, for free, you get a free profile. You're able to get all the information in there. You're able to add video for free. You're able to have your coach promote you to colleges that they're currently connected to for free. You're able to research schools and research colleges that would be a good fit for you for free. And then you're also able to show colleges that you're targeting them with your target school list. And those are all free features, free functionality on our platform. And honestly, something that's really cool about us that we provide so much for free. As a coach myself that was using Field Level as a coach user before I was an employee, I really thought that was really cool that Field Level does that for people, gives them some free help. But then we got to pay the bills, right? We got to pay for our computers and our webcam and all these in our offices here. So we do have to find a way to make some money. So how do we do that? We have some premium functionality as well that really, really opens up the network for not only the athlete, but also their coach helping that athlete. So first up, they're able to see detailed activity of who is looking at them. What college coaches are looking at your account, your profile, your film? Are they following you? Is your coach promoting you to them? You're able to get that detailed information with premium. You're able to give access to the entire network to your coach when the athlete and their account is turned on the premium. So let's say a high school or club coach is connected to 200 people in their network. Well, let's say there's 20,000 coaches in that network as a whole. Well, you will then, if you have premium, you open up that coach from having their 200 connections to 20,000 connections. So big change. More your athlete is be able to be seen by more and more coaches. The more eyeballs on that athlete, more eyeballs on their film, on their profile, and obviously more opportunities to be recruited. We also provide the opportunity for you to learn about the right fit for you. We have recommendations and college matches that we provide to you and match strength that we provide to you once you have the premium plan. And then lastly, you're able to write letters of interest. The college coaches want to first hear from a high school coach or a club coach first. That is their counterpart in the sport. They know that they're going to get the most true evaluation from that coach. That's who they want to talk to most. That's why we've created this network, is to connect those two parties. But once they start learning more about the athlete through the coach and that they want to start recruiting that athlete, it is great for that coach at the college level, the university level, to see that the athlete has taken the time to do their homework and write a letter of interest to that school and their program, answering two key questions: why I want to play for this program and why I want to live in this area geographically. They may sound simple, but the way they answer those questions will show that coach at the 4-year school level or the junior college level that the athlete has taken the time to do their homework, do the research, and that they've truly shown an interest in their program. So all these things are extremely beneficial for the athlete. And then again, when the athlete gets premium, they turn on the premium functionality for their coach to help them as well. Our premium plan is extremely affordable when it comes to this recruiting space world. It is $39 a month. You can turn that on or off when you like. And it is $372 a year if you want to go with the annual plan. Some quick stats. This is generic over our entire network or all of our sports. You are going to generate 7 times more follows, right? Meaning you're going to generate more coaches, 7 times more coaches following your account using the premium plan than you would with free. You're going to get 5 times more activity. So profile views, video views, just again, 5 times more activity on your page. And it's again, 5 times more activity, gets a lot more coaches in and looking at you and giving you more opportunities to be recruited. And then we've seen that there's an athlete that has premium versus an athletes that are just using our free platform are 4 times more likely to commit using a Field Level premium. So some big helpful things happening with our premium plan. So I'm done with my spiel. My contact information is at the bottom there. That's my business cell. You can call or text that. You can go ahead and email me whenever you'd like at jfrench@fieldlevel.com. Our website there as well if you want to check it out or forward that along. And then we have our social platforms in the top right-hand corner. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We would love to have you follow us. We're constantly putting content out there, information, quotes, tips, some videos on my side as well, promoting some of these webinars. Love to have you follow us as well. So it is question and answer time. I'm going to start with the one that Ben asked, and then feel free to go ahead and throw it in the Zoom webinar chat area so I can, again, keep this contact information on here. All right, so Ben, I've been told that colleges can't have any contact with a recruit before their junior year. Is that right? That is right in some cases. That is right, is wrong in others. again, you will be getting a list uh, of, of, of levels of play for you to look at to see what rules coincide with your volleyball athlete. And I know that Bob's got a volleyball athlete because his athlete's at a school that I was at recently speaking to. So your daughter will, depending on what level of play she is projected at or wants to play at, would be an area for you to go and do some more detailed research. And again, I'll be sending you those links either tomorrow or by Tuesday, since it's a holiday weekend. How do you get a NCAA and other codes? That is where you go to the NCAA clearinghouse, an eligibility clearinghouse, where you would register for that, and then you would then the NCAA would then give you that code along. And I also recommend, I don't know what level, Jim, your athlete's going to play at, but I definitely recommend that the NAIA is an option as well for you to go ahead and take a look at. Good question here. In the GPA section from Edward, why is it only limited to unweighted GPA, and should we put 9 through 12 grades or GPA, or 10 through 12 grades? I would say that you keep the GPA consistent. Whatever your GPA is I would say cumulative at the moment through that time that you have on your platform there, on your profile. I would definitely put your cumulative GPA as you're continuing through the grade ranks. There's an also area for you to put your transcripts, so you can show what classes you have knocked off and what grades. And then all coaches and admissions departments at the college level need to go through that transcript. So good to have that in there now, or once you're going after your 10th grade year, they'll be able to see what 4 classes you've knocked out. Now, why is it no unweighted versus weighted and all that kind of stuff? We're still working through that where it comes to, what state equates to what is a point for an honors class versus an AP class. These are things that are different from different areas of the country, and so putting that weighted GPA on there is a little more difficult than just allowing the numbers to be plugged in. So I would definitely go ahead, and if let's say your athlete is a 4.3 GPA with that weighted, put that 4.0 on there, and then in your honors and achievements, throw in that their weighted GPA is a 4.3, a 4.4, something like that. Lorenzo, great question. You indicated there may be different dead quiet periods. How do I find out these periods for women's soccer? I'll be sending you a bunch of links. One of them is going to be a link to our page that has these contact period calendars in a very visually consumable way for Division II, Division I. And so go ahead and take a look at that. But I'm also going to send you NCAA, NAIA links about when those dead periods, quiet periods are, and you can go ahead and find the sport that coincides with women's soccer. So you can find a link that coincides with women's soccer to see which one it measures out for you guys and the athletes that are playing at different levels. But again, we'd sit here for 3-4 hours talking about the differences between every conference, every division within each conference, and then every sport within those conferences and those divisions as well, if we went through every detail. So you'll be getting all those links for you to go ahead and check out. Great question. Anything else? Any other questions? Paul, are athletic scholarships typical at the Division III and NJCAA level? So Division III schools, much like Division I Ivy League schools, do not give out athletic scholarships, but they do get very creative with finding ways of providing financial aid packages based on academics, based on hardships, based on FAFSA. So they find ways of getting athletes in and giving them money, and finding a way to entice athletes to come play for their programs, but they won't be athletic scholarships. They will find various ways of putting together financial aid packages, but a Division III school will not. The NJCAA, they do have ways of providing athletic financial aid packages, as is the NWAC in the Pacific Northwest, where they're able to find ways of giving financial aid packages for athletics. They do have some rules based on the different states they're allowed to do that with, but I would definitely look into those. If those are the options you're looking into, I'll go ahead and look into those links that I send you, especially at the NJCAA, and go from there. Edward, again, another question. It was a good one here. Explain what it means when a coach promoted. So our platform is centered around the high school and the club coach. And what we mean by promoted is when the high school and club coach sends information to a college coach within our network, letting them know that they believe that this athlete can be a great recruitable athlete for their program. They believe they can play at their level, play for their program, and lets them know why. And then they connect with that college and university coach, let them know why they think they should be playing at that program, why that they think that coach should be focusing in on that athlete for recruitment. So promoting, recommending, advocating for, promoting is just the term that we use and the term inside the website where the coach clicks on to promote an athlete to that college. Good question. And again, everybody, for those of you still listening, if you have a question that you don't want to ask in this forum, you want to respond to me personally, feel free to use that contact info. We're always here to help. Jim, if I'm assuming that you're asking if your wife and son aren't able to watch now, we'd like to have them watch this webinar at their own convenience. We do record these, and I will be sending that link to you guys as well, where you can go straight to the page and check these out. We've also got an education series page that you can find at the bottom of our homepage, where we post previous webinars or previous live education broadcasts and promote future ones. You can go to that page as well, but I'll send you, you'll be getting the link to go straight to this page or to this recording. College visits. What is the difference between official and unofficial, and how many of Washington are allowed? I don't know about the Washington question, but be a little clear on that. But when it comes to official and unofficial, basically an official visit is when you're getting paid, like the college is paying for you to come visit their school. They take care of the flight, the accommodations, things of that nature. Unofficial is you're doing it on your own dime to go to that school, to check that school out. We had a conversation with my coworker Taylor. We did a interview portion with him a couple weeks back, and he said one of his biggest regrets is not checking out all of his opportunities, not doing all the official visits that he could. So I recommend that you get all the visits in. This is going to be the athletes' next 4 years of their life, so you want to make sure you check all these schools out, make sure it's the right fit. Paul, what does it mean exactly when a coach updates certification on field level profile? Great question. So high school and club coaches are writing evaluations about their athletes on our platform for the colleges and their coaches to read about those athletes. These are private evaluations, so I know some parents totally understand. Some parents want to know why, but we allow the coaches to write these in a private way, so only the college coach can see it. Athletes can't see it, parents can't see it. They get to be very honest about the athlete's evaluation in there, and so that's what it means when it comes to certifying. They're evaluating, they're writing an evaluation, they're writing or they're selecting a projection of where they believe that athlete can play, and they're also being able to put in some athletic measurables. Usually has something to do with size, speed, agility type stuff. So those are all in the certification area for the coach. Lorenzo, you'd have to go and check those schools. I know Division I programs for the most part, where Division I athletes are allowed to do 5 Division I official visits. But again, depends what level your athlete can play at, what schools you're interested in. and what those schools are offering. So I'll definitely look into those schools and talk to your coach about that as well. Riley, in my opinion, what is the optimal time for a student athlete to start visiting schools? Junior, senior year? I would definitely start doing towards the end of your junior year. You're really starting to whittle that stuff down. You have a mental list. You have some things that you're wanting to discuss as a family about what the athlete is interested in. We are going to have a conversation and a webinar next month about just that family coming together and talking about these things, about official visits or unofficial visits, just visiting schools in general. But I do recommend you guys start doing that. Once that athlete has a good idea of what kind of school they want to be a part of, you can whittle that down. Because if you're a freshman or a sophomore and you've got 30 schools that you might be interested in, that could be a pretty expensive travel road trip. So wanting to make sure that the athlete's got some narrowed down ideas that will probably be more helpful for you guys as a family. But we'll discuss that in more detail next month. Great question, though. All right, so people are starting to sign off. It has been a pleasure to, pardon me, it's my pleasure to do today's broadcast. I had a lot of fun. I always love doing these. I love the interaction. I wish I got to do one where everybody had their camera on them so I could see everyone and talk to them more individually. But unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. Thank you so much for everyone's time today. If you have any questions, again, that's my contact information at the bottom. Feel free to shoot me a call, text, email. Always happy to help. The entire field level team is grateful for you guys as users, and we're always here to help. If you don't get a hold of me, you'll get a hold of somebody else, and we're eager to help you guys through this process. Have a great day. We have Labor Day weekend coming up, and have a great 3-day weekend. Thanks, guys.